Welcome in to the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. Normally, I have my podcast co-host in the upstate Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall, with me. He is under the weather, so he'll be back with us on Wednesday. First of all, appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. I've got audio from Coach Shane Beamer's press conference. They did the whole the Sunday press conference thing, and the first thing that came out was about Shula. Mike Shula has been fired as the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. If you ask, a long stretch of folks from Alabama on down, it was like this is going to be a shit show from the start. The question is now, we'll see how things go from here. All right, but let's get you. I got about a little bit of Shane Beamer's press conference here. We're going to play this really quick here so you can get the word from Shane Beamer. This came down just a little bit ago on his firing of Mike Shula as the offensive coordinator.
Mike Shula is a fantastic football coach. Mike Shula is a fantastic person. His resume and all he's accomplished as a coach speaks for itself at the college level and the NFL level. I just made the decision that I made last December to promote him, and believed it was the right decision for a lot of reasons, as I spoke about at the time. And frankly, it just hasn't worked like I wanted it to work. We all have a hand in it, players and coaches. We all have to be better, but just did not like the way we were performing offensively through now 10 games. And felt like going forward, short term and long term, this was a decision that I needed to make for the betterment of our program.
All right, so there you go. Shane Beamer a little bit ago on his on the Sunday press conference. South Carolina falls to Ole Miss. If you look at the stats, I mean, Ole Miss kind of did their thing, man. They played like a top, 10 team in the country. Beamer did go on to say that he thinks that they're close, but not quite there yet. Walk It Off Sports Jackpot is under the weather. He will be back on Wednesday. Hopefully you folks will stick around this evening. I'm going to bring some folks in. Justin, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, Walt?
All right, man. Hey, what you got for the show?
Hey, well, it was time to get rid of my shit, but I think it was kind of too late. They should have done it in October. They wait way too long, Walt. And
that's true.
I'm curious that it's going to help South Carolina win games now. I don't know. It's hard to say right now because is the offense going to do good this time? We hope so, but they still got problems. You know what?
You're right about that, buddy. I got some numbers I'm going to go over with that. What else you got for the show, buddy?
I got to say, we know Auburn can find Hughes Freeze. We knew that was coming.
Yeah, he was kind of a gong show down there at Auburn.
Yeah. So, losing Kentucky is unacceptable, but
Well, I mean, 3 points. They scored just 3 points. And I'm not trying to throw shade at Big Barney Ross's Wildcats, but 3 freaking points? What the hell's going on with all that, man?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, buddy. We appreciate you, man.
All right, take care, Walt. Go get us. Whole Carolina Jackpot football.
Jackpot will be back with us, man. I promise. All right, Jarrett, welcome to the program.
Cool. I just spoke with Jackpot yesterday. I hope he feels better. I didn't know he was under the weather.
Under the weather, buddy. What you got for the show?
Yeah. Shane Beamer saving his own hide by firing Mike Shula this late in the season to save his job. I mean, the South Carolina fans want Shane Beamer's head. They really want him fired. I mean, that's what it is. And
that's not true. That's not true.
You don't think the South Carolina fans want Shane Beamer fired?
I think there's a section of South Carolina fans that are in the camp that he gets another year.
I don't think so. What if you get like a 8? What if you get?
Hold on. Where the fuck is Peckerhead at? Peckerhead will come on here and tell you with a straight face, because I truly believe that he believes that Shane Beamer needs another year. He'll be here shortly, I'm sure. Peckerhead's not going to miss the show.
He probably won't. I mean, it's kind of time. I mean, I get he's won some. He's got a winning record, but I mean, not by much. I mean,
he doesn't have a winning conference record. Now, that's the thing, though, and I've talked about this, and Billy, who is normally in the chat room, he brings this up too, and it pisses people off. He has a losing conference record, okay, by a lot. And what happens with that is that it should be, hey, we're doing everything we can to try to get to Atlanta. Not, hey, we're going to reward someone because they beat Clemson and then they beat Tennessee. He is living off of those 3 wins. I'll stand by that until the day I fall off this earth. Okay, he's not a coach. Now, one other thing, the whole offensive coordinator situation, let's make sure that we put that into perspective for a second. Under Shane Beamer, the offense at South Carolina was 13th in the conference in 2021, 9th in 2022, 9th in 2023, 8th in 2024, and then this year they are dead fucking last. Now, what's happening with this is that Shane Beamer is going to try to hire another offensive coordinator, but people are throwing names out there. I seen somebody talk about Gus Malzahn and coaches like that. I hate to break this to you, okay? For the Gamecocks to have a successful offensive coordinator with Shane Beamer, they are going to have to find somebody like they got their defensive coordinator from Eastern Kentucky or Western Kentucky, somebody that needs like a chance, like their chance to come in and do something. Because I don't think any of these other coaches respect Beamer. I really don't. And I think the idea of, hey, we're going to go and get a top guy, and South Carolina has the money for it. It's not an issue of that. The fan base deserves to have a winner down there. But why are my cats fighting? My cats are being stupid. Anyway, but the whole thing, it comes back down to this. I don't think any coach respects him, and I think that he's going to have to get a young guy to come in there and hope that works. Now, on the other hand, if I'm a Gamecock fan and I'm a big booster, Silver Spur and all that gives thousands of dollars, and if I'm in that room and I can say, hey, we need a new coach, that's probably the road that I would go down. Because what has Beamer brought to that program other than a losing conference record and 2 wins against Clemson and a win against Tennessee? I mean, nobody wants to talk about that, and it pisses off Gamecock fans. But in reality, that's what's happened with this guy. And I know that they're like, oh, well, he developed guys and he put them in the if you have a losing record in conference, none of that means fucking shit. So we can get into that.
Yeah. I want to talk about some of these Bama fans and talking about how, oh, Georgia's been winning games because the refs had their back. Oh, my God. No, it's not. This has nothing to do with I could say that about the Duke Clemson game. I could say that about the Ohio State Penn State game.
I have the take with this. Both teams play with the same officials. I don't blame one play here or there. Dabo Swinney lost his mind yesterday, got fined by the conference. And then went from there because he ran his mouth about the officials. But let me explain something to the ACC, okay? Dabo Swinney is a bigger, well-thought-of brand than you are on the football front.
Yeah.
So just making sure that we understand that, because the idea of them finding him is just pretty funny to me. And but I just don't believe the whole thing of people sitting around, well, the refs fucked us. If you think that way, you are a loser.
And that's what Kangaroo Black and his whole band of Bama fans that come on his channel think he spews to them and say, oh, they pay off the refs. I'm like, no, they don't. That's not true. They just are bad, terrible at their job.
I don't know who Kangaroo Black is. I have no clue on that. I'm sorry.
He-
No
he's
respect. I just don't know who he is. He may be
he's
the
a-
greatest guy ever, but I have no clue who he is. All I can tell you is that if you're a good football team, you will never get yourself into a position where the officials can determine whether you win or lose. That's it.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I just think if you really want to solve this problem, you should just make the refs one body instead of Big 12, Big 10, ACC, SEC. Make them one body organization, have them full time, make them take an eye test, a written test, physical fitness test, do all that. And, all that stuff. Do that. I mean, if you want to make all these people cry about saying, oh, they paid for it, I mean, that maybe that'll shut them up.
Crispy says I wouldn't like Kangaroo Black. I mean, I may like him. Look, I don't have an issue with people that have an opinion. That's not my problem. My issue is with people that want to just, first of all, if you have an opinion that, X, Y, or Z is this, if you come with facts, that's fine. We can have a good back and forth with that. But if the first thing out of your mouth was, well, Clemson did this, and you spin like a washing machine, then you're a fucking idiot. But what did that do, or what did this guy do? How about what your team did? And by the way, we're going to talk about the stuff with Dabo Swinney in just a moment. Shoot him with a good comment here. Shoot him 5568 for the folks on the podcast. The refs are just terrible in general. Yeah.
Exactly. They're just terrible in general. They need to be full-time. They need to have a one-body organization, not by any conference, written test, eye test, a physical fitness test, and they need to be tested every year or 6 months. As simple as that. And as for the Bama fans going on saying they're going to win a national title, I don't know about that. I think twice because they are terrible on both phases of the ball, including special teams. Their kicker can't kick beyond 30 yards. They can't stop the run. They can't run the ball. They really have to rely on the pass and the pass defense. That's all.
Passer in the conference, so that seems to help. But anyway, all right, Jared, appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, all right.
Have a good day. Anyway, if you want to join the show, have at it. Dabo Swinney in his Sunday teleconference was asked about the defensive coordinator, Tom Allen. The Clemson defense yesterday looked like fucking shit. That's pretty much the best way that I can go with it, all right? So let's look at it from one perspective here really quick. So Venables, when he left, the defensive coordinator is now the Oklahoma head coach. Clemson's defense was number 1 in the conference in total defense. He left. They went to 4th in 2022. 2023, they were back again at 1st. 9th last year, which means that Wes Goodman had to go and find another job. And then this year, they're 10th. Now, I'm not on the camp of, hey, we should fire this guy from the spot. I think that there is the guy should have at least a little more time. You know what I'm saying? Just a little more time. Just being honest with you on that. I think he needs a little more time there to get it squared away. But is this offense or the defense is shitty? Yeah. Clemson, by the way, Swinney talked about in his teleconference today. But first, let me play this comment from Dabo today when he was talking about the Tom Allen. This was at the end of the teleconference today.
Yeah, I think Tom's done it. I think Tom's done a great job. I really do, and I think he's a winner. He's a really good football coach, and it just hadn't worked. It hadn't come together like we hoped, and again, that's nobody's fault but mine.
You heard that right, TRD?
How many weeks is he going to keep saying that?
Well, but I respect the fact that he says, "Hey, it's on me."
Yeah,
we got to figure that out.
I respect the fact that
he also said that that with the evaluation of talent, talked about that, and he said, "Hey, the big thing here is, we've missed on our evaluation with some of these guys that are there. We have talent, but it's not coming together."
You think?
Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's bitching about the pass interference call, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But we gave up 46 points. There was times when our pass defense weren't even on the field. They were taking a water break.
Well, Jackpot texted me yesterday during the game and said something to the effect of, on the one play where the guy just ran a flag route and didn't have anybody within fucking 50 yards of him.
Yep.
So when that happens, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, there's nothing else you can say about that. Now, I also think that maybe, and I'm not making excuses here, but I can tell you that maybe there needs to be more time for these guys to get seasoned in with it. I don't know. But when you have something that's blown up like that, I mean, it ends up looking like complete dog shit.
Oh, I agree with you. I think people need to step back. I'm willing to give Tom. It's his first year.
It's his first year, and the Clemson season. They are going to. They have Florida State this weekend, which, by the way, do you know who the number one total defense in the conference is?
I'm going to guess Florida State.
It's Florida State, yeah. So I tell you that because the Clemson offense looked good yesterday.
Very good.
Randall averaged like 5.9 yards a carry. I mean, when all that happens, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Cade looked good too. I don't know about that damn 15 seconds left in the game, and he eats up 10 seconds to run out of bounds.
So that's just dumb. And what I mean is just the way they manage the clock. But that's something that play bothered me at the time. But if you step back for a second, here's the big thing. He's still a kid. He's going to fuck up every now and then. You watch guys in the pros screw up all the time, and they're getting paid to do it. You know? But
Rob,
I don't know how that's going to work.
I'll be honest. Cade has had a very poor season, in my opinion.
Yes. The whole Heisman talk, and I said something about it at the beginning of the season. I was like, you know what? This whole Heisman nonsense with him, he hasn't done enough to say, hey, this is the way that we're going to go. That he's a leader of the team. Yeah, but he's not that great of a quarterback. He's not.
No. This season.
The play where Dabo lost his mind. But anyway, go ahead, finish up there, TRD.
This season's just it's a write-off, and I never thought I'd get like this, but I'm hoping every week for a South Carolina loss so they won't have one on us. And it's crazy, man. Three fucking wins. It's pathetic.
3-5, and I looked up the stat earlier. Their last win over a Power 4 team at home was
North Carolina last year.
I mean, we're talking about a fucking calendar year.
Yeah.
Where you don't have a win over a Power 5 team at home. I mean, and regardless of what you think of Clemson, let's just put this into perspective. We all can agree that they are a top 20. We'll say that to be fair. As far as environment, setup, all of that shit up there. I can make an argument they're top 5, but we'll go top 20 for the haters and all that in the chat. But you can't win more than one game against a Power 4 team in your own place in a year? Are you fucking kidding me?
Just shows you years of this have been building up, and now it's finally come to fruition, man. It's happening, and he needs to do shit, or else we're going to be looking at another season next year the same way.
Well, Will Vandervoort from the Clemson Insider posted a piece today talking about there's going to be changes and things like that. And Will Vandervoort used to come on my show. Him and I have a relationship, and I'm going to text him later on and try to wrinkle his ear a little bit. But I think that there needs to be some sweeping changes as far as some of the analysts goes.
Yeah.
Some of the position coaches. As far as Riley goes, there's been points where they look like they've been a little bit better. I think the offensive line has been pretty good this season. I mean, I think so.
They have. No, they've been decent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what I'm saying is that Matt Luke shouldn't be worried about his job is what I'm trying to put there.
I think Garrett Riley should be, but I don't think Matt Luke should be. No.
Well, and you know what? A good point here. Ryan says the admin is forcing Dabo's hand. You know what? You may be right about that.
Yeah, I think
You
he is.
remember, and you may know, I don't know if you follow Clemson baseball too, but
Very
Jack
much.
Leggett was a guy that won like 900 games at Clemson. I mean, seriously, he was
He
a
did.
great guy, and had Coach Clemson's the first number 1 overall pick that Clemson had. I mean, Khalil Green, coach guys like that in baseball. But here's the thing: he got tired of the administration telling him what he needed to do, and basically it ended up he was being shown the door.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen to Dabo Swinney anytime soon.
I don't either.
But I think Dabo Swinney may get to a point where he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to be here. He's already said that in a press conference in a more crisp, cleaner way. But he has, I think that's what'll be the ending of Dabo Swinney. I don't think they'll fire him, but I think he's going to tell them, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Why are you questioning what I've done? So there's that.
Because he also says best is the standard. Really? I mean, best is the standard's been gone for a couple of years now.
Asking about Clemson's offensive line has been good in points, sir. What
Yes.
I mean is the offensive line coach has done enough where he shouldn't be thinking, hey, I'm going to lose my job at the end of the season.
That's what I meant as well.
Have they been all conference and all world? No, they haven't. So there you go with that. And by the way, people need to remember this too. When Clemson won their national titles, their offensive linemen, none of them were really that good.
They weren't. Wasn't our strength at all. Nope.
They were coached up to do what they needed to do and to protect the star quarterbacks that they had.
We had playmakers all over the field. All over the field.
Well, and they don't have that now.
Nope.
And like Adam Randall's played really good football this year, but to think that he's in the ilk of a Travis Etienne is silly to me. That's just not. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
All right, Rob. Hey, man, hopefully things get better. I know this year's a wash, but
no, this year's fucked, man. I mean, I wish I could just wear a shirt. The football year is fucked. We have the whole the releasing of the first rankings this week.
Right.
You look forward to watching that? I don't want to watch that shit now. You know why? Because we're going to have to deal with the Ohio States of the world being at the top of it. And they're fans right now. If you follow anything that they're out there on Twitter,
they're always out there. Always.
They're just beating the shit out of everybody. And the commentary is very simple. Any football from the South is fuckery compared to Ohio State if you follow any of their stuff. And so I don't want to sit here and watch any of that shit. Fuck the Big Ten forever. I have no desire to watch any of that.
A Southern team's won like 13 of the past 14 national championships or something. But football,
it's not that big. I mean, you've got Michigan and Ohio State. They've won a couple, but that's not the point. That's why I don't get into the whole this conference is better than that, because that's a pussy argument too. That's what a bunch of 7-5 motherfuckers run around. Well, we went 7-5, but we played Alabama. Gives a fuck. No one cares. Yeah.
All right, Bob. Hey, out of here, Jackpot. If you're listening, I hope you feel better, bud. Later, Rob.
Thank you, buddy. TRD joining the program. You can join now too. Eddie with a good point here. Makaima and Octavian have disappeared off the chats. That was one of the things that I talked about was at the beginning of the season that Miami was a fraud and they would eventually lose some games that they're not supposed to lose. They were a 12-point favorite yesterday on the road at SMU, and they lost. That is what they are. A team that is overhyped all of the time, and we're expected to believe that they're just great, and then the season comes around, and bam, what do we got? What do we got? Let's add Billy to the program. Billy, welcome to the show.
Hey.
How are you, sir? Yeah.
I'm good. Hope Jackpot gets to feeling better.
Me too.
Come on here to congrats Oklahoma for coming into Neyland and taking the W. getting a win. That was awesome. A lot of people don't realize their field goal kicker had 2 55-yard field goals, a 51, and a 40-yard field goal. Hats off to that young man.
All right, let me address, and that's fine. We can talk about that in a second. But Justin with a comment here. So is SMU one of Clemson's quality losses? All of the losses that Clemson have, I don't deal in the whole, well, this was a quality loss here or there. They lost. Absolutely lost. If we're just doing the math, okay, for the games that Clemson lost, as far as just looking at it from a talent composite total, you know, the only game you could even throw out there is like maybe the LSU game, but that may be whack too because they haven't performed up to par. All the other games are just bullshit, in my opinion, man. Bullshit. So, but anyway, yeah, tough loss for Tennessee yesterday. You know, I look at that game and I was like, man, how did that happen, Billy? Well, what do you think?
Too many interceptions, turnovers. I think Aguilar had 3 interceptions.
Let's give Peckerhead credit because he said at the beginning of the season that Aguilar would have a game where he'd throw like 3 picks like that, and it just ended up happening.
But he still had over 400 yards, and he's the 2nd leading passer in the nation. So,
yeah,
Tennessee's got the 3rd scoring offense in the nation, but the defense is horrendous.
Well, is there calls from the land of the? I know that Dr. Vol wanted their offensive coordinator fired. But,
there's calls to fire Heupel.
Oh God, are you feeling that though? Like I don't know about the Heupel. But
There's more. No, not me. There's morons up here. You know, when you go through 7 coaches in 15 years and you finally get somebody that's, you know, getting you double-digit wins and getting you to the CFP, even though we got our ass in it, it don't matter. You got there. He got there in 4 years. So he has a good program. Aguilar had a bad night through 2 or 3 too many interceptions. So, and they're having problems on the secondary defense. They're all American. Boo Carter didn't play a snap. I think Heupel's about ready to cut him from the team. He's here from my hometown in Cleveland, Tennessee. He was a problem at the high school a couple of years ago. He's got an attitude problem. So,
Trey with a comment: 28-0 Seahawks first half. What a joke! Time to listen to some Palmetto State football, even though that's a joke too. Yes, sir. By the way, not to put this out there, we were goofing about Coastal the other day. Coastal's playing some pretty good football right now. Not saying they're going to beat South Carolina, but they're. I mean, Gamecocks better strap up when they play Coastal.
You think Coastal's going to come out there and lay down because they're playing South Carolina? I don't think so. They're coming out there thinking we can beat these clowns.
Well, they're going to come up there and be like, no, we're
Yep.
They're going to get their best game, and South Carolina better play at least at par. If not, they could go home with that one too, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, firing Shula is not going to change anything. That's he's just a symptom of the problem. Like I said earlier today in a chat, the fish rots from the head first. So anybody that still supports Shane Beamer, you got to be kidding me. First of all, he should have never been hired to begin with because he doesn't have a resume that does fit a D1 school, especially in the SEC. He knew some people, and the players liked him. Big deal. Big deal.
Well,
and it's not working out.
Losing conference record, and if you're a Gamecock fan, and I know that guys like, I think Gamecock Chuck's watching over there, guys like that understand, like, hey, you know, we should be playing for conference titles. It should not be about, oh, the guy loves them, and he coached under Spurrier, and hey, we beat Clemson a couple of times. Let's remember that. That's not what your team should be built on.
All these teams that were once powerhouses, the word parity comes to mind, and that's been caused by the NIL and the transfer portal. Those are the two things. And if you're a coach and you got O-line problems, you don't have depth at the O-line, that's your problem because the transfer portal is the key to the answer in NIL. If you don't want to spend no money for whatever reason, then you deal with what you got. So That's where this has come to. And you got some coaches, and I'm not naming names, that don't want to deal with the transfer portal except in onesies and twosies. That ain't gonna get it. So if you think what's his name, Signetti in Indiana's a bad coach because he brought half his team from James Madison and a legal way to do it, and now he's ranked 2 or 3 in the nation and going to the playoff is bad, then you just keep a losing record and keep on losing.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Brock's comment here. He says, "Hey Rob, if you guys get rid of Garrett Riley as your OC, you could hire Mike Shula. He used to be a head coach at Alabama, coached up Cam Newton, and has years of NFL experience." Yeah. No,
How do you get fired at Alabama?
I'll tell you what, and I mean this with every ounce of my soul. If Dabo Swinney fires Riley and hires that fucking idiot, I'll burn my Clemson shit right in the yard, right here live on the channel.
Well, I'm gonna get off here and let somebody else come. If you get a chance, you need to bring up Tyler from Spartanburg. He's got a YouTube. He's on here YouTube.
I have to watch that.
Refresh our memory later. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Congrats to Oklahoma again. Good job.
Ray, welcome to the program, sir.
What's up, man? Well, no fear that Clemson will get back on track next week. Absolutely back on track next week. Absolutely don't play anything into that win over Wake Forest. They played as poor as they could possibly play, and we really didn't play well. We just hit a few big plays.
You're talking about Florida State, right? I want to make sure that
absolutely, yes.
Context purposes. You have the top defense in the conference, sir. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Okay. Hey, I'm not doubting that, but we played Kent State and whoever that other stupid team from Texas was.
Top total defense in the conference.
Well, apparently you haven't watched the last 4 games.
I'm just telling you what the stats say.
I'm not disagreeing with you, man. I'm just telling you we're not that good.
Well, you know what? I've seen some of the Florida State stuff where they want Norvell gone.
Oh, absolutely. We can't afford to fire him. To get rid of him and his staff is $100 million.
Well, I don't know, but
I mean, what are you going to do, Rob? I mean, they made a mistake. They screwed up.
I think you'll lose $100 million if you don't fire him.
I'm in agreement with you. They should have fired him before during the bye week. That's what I think. But that's just my opinion. I quit giving money to that university when I quit buying season tickets and giving booster contributions. So I can't say anything about it. I'm not donating anything to that university anymore. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But where they screwed up, just some the quote unquote supposedly Alabama was flirting with him, that was bullcrap. That's Jimmy Sexton talk. So they felt the need to give him a huge contract with a huge buyout. That was the biggest mistake they made.
Is trolling me this evening saying Clemson's a basketball school now. Stop it. You know your season is shit when a Kentucky fan can come in here off of a conference win and your team can't beat Duke. This is the Twilight Zone. That's what it basically is.
Well, I got one other question. I read something, I guess it was a tweet or maybe it was a story that Paul Feinbaum said he thought it was time not for Dabo to get fired, but for him to step away. What are the Clemson people? What are they thinking right now?
Well, I don't think that there may be a contingent of some Clemson fans that are like, hey, Sweeney's may need to go. I mean, there's that. I believe in the theory though of if you believe that something is going to happen, you should act now. Don't prolong anything.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree.
That's why I like this Shane Beamer thing is going to be like a slow death. It's like a boa constrictor that's wrapped around your arm.
And that's the situation that it seems that the powers that be now. Also, now I will tell you this. Now there was the big money people, boosters that had we lost to Wake and played terrible, he would have been fired this morning. Now,
Well,
now that's what everyone's saying. It's in the know, but
here's the thing though, with people firing their coaches now, what they're doing is sending a message to the big donors and saying,
Right.
you know what? We don't like this shit that happened right now. We're going to make sure we get somebody else in here, and this isn't going to happen next season. So they can send them that request for that big check again.
absolutely, I agree.
Around like, hey, you know what? We got a new guy. Why not? But the
Well,
idea,
yeah, that's the thing, because if the boosters, if they cut the funding off, you're screwed. I mean,
Right.
you have no opportunity.
but the idea of continuing to spend and to put money into what Beamer has done is batshit, in my
Oh,
opinion.
I agree with you 100%. I agree.
It's the same thing with Norvell. It was the same thing with Freeze down at Auburn.
Right.
I was like a little bit off on the stuff at Penn State, but from what I'm told behind the scenes, that was a shit show.
Right.
So there's that too, but I don't know, man. But
this is just this is my little thinking about what may be about to happen or start to happen. I guess are we eventually going to have collective bargaining in this deal or not, like the NFL?
That's a story for another day. One of the things that bothers me, that hamstrings a lot of programs. You mentioned Sexton earlier. He's an agent, and he's got to get the most amount of money for his clients. I'm not thinking that any of that's something that you should have issues with. The problem that I have is that he starts putting his guys out there and starting rumors and things like that about, hey, maybe a mediocre coach is like, there's talk about Jeff Brom moving up to one of these bigger jobs. What in the blue has Jeff Brom done that makes you think, okay, he should be the head coach at Auburn? He should be the head coach.
I can tell you what we're hearing down here is, I can't think of the gentleman's name. He's the big, huge booster at Auburn. He has the Yellowwood. That's his company. He makes the big calls at Auburn, and I'm hearing he wants Jimbo Fisher. Now that's what we're hearing. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition or not. But
here's the thing with that: Jimbo Fisher has been at 2 Power 5 programs, won a national title at one. At Texas A&M, you can do a lot of things as far as the money goes. He ended up getting the #1 recruiting class. They were always a paper tiger there, is a good way to look at it. But he did coach a national championship team. And, other than picking out a whore wife, which
agreed.
Right?
I agree.
I mean, he married a stripper, and then one of the reasons that he left Florida State was because his wife was fucking a Florida trainer.
Correct.
These are what happened. All that's true. So when you marry a woman named Crystal and it's spelled K-R-Y, and she goes and gets that way, and you pay for it, then fuck you, get what you got coming to you.
I agree. Well, there's a large contingent of the money people in Tallahassee that if they get rid of Norvell, they want Jimbo back. I mean,
well, there's talk about the LSU job that there's some people that are talking about maybe Ed Orgeron's going to go back there. I mean, let's
Christmas, man.
What are we doing here? I don't know. But there are some really good jobs out there. Penn State is a good job. Auburn's a good job. Florida is a good job. If Florida State comes to fruition and they fire Norvell, that's a good job.
Right.
The problem with all of this is that there aren't a lot of good coaches.
Well, and I agree with that, Rob. You're going to have more good jobs available than you're going to have qualified candidates for the jobs.
Exactly.
But now here's the other thing that
coaches like Brom, or you can put another guy in the mix, whoever, are going to end up getting jobs that, let's be honest, they're not qualified for.
Oh, I agree with that. But Here's my theory on this. Now, I'm not saying coaching is not a big part of it, which it is a very large part of it. Recruiting, to me, in today's age, recruiting and NIL, if you've got players stacked on stacked on stacked, you have a greater chance of winning than no talent with a great coach. So, where are you going to put your money at? Are you going to pile it into a coach? Or are you going to pile it into NIL and recruiting? What do you do?
Anthony with the first dumb comment of the evening. Brom ain't leaving Dingleberry. I was using him as an example, sir. His name has been out there as like one of the coaches that should be in the mix to take on one of these bigger jobs. It was all built on the back of his agent just trying to get him a contract extension, like Rule got at Nebraska.
Nebraska,
That's
yes.
the whole gist of it.
The guy's name escapes me, but he was a coordinator at Clemson. If Dabo does step down, the guys at Syracuse, wouldn't that be a perfect fit for Clemson if Dabo did step down?
Now, Anthony rebounds really quick here and says, what has Lane Kiffin done, if we're being honest? That is factual, sir.
That's true.
His resume's got some holes in it, and that's a very fair statement. Good take.
Well, supposedly that's the Gators. They're going to throw the money at him. I've heard anywhere from over 100 to 140 mil for a 10-year. But
all right,
anyway, guy. All right, we'll talk to you later, Rob.
All right, thank you, Ray. All right, Dr. Vol, welcome to the program. Let me just call myself a fat fuck and an asshole. That way you don't have to do that because I know that you're pissed off right now. But go ahead, buddy.
I'm defeated at this point. I'm not even mad. Just defeated. This team has got the talent, but it's like for 5 years we've been wanting to, like y'all were talking about, close that talent gap with the elite teams. That's what Heupel's been trying to do, and it feels like we have closed that gap. But now this team just turns the ball over and lets the other team go the other way for a touchdown in the red zone, and just loses that way. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know what I can say to you this juncture, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to be a smart ass, but I think that your defensive coordinator, like, they should have brown boxed his ass on the field. Take off that Tennessee shirt. Here's a white T-shirt. Don't go anywhere near this.
We're soft. We're soft as baby shit. I mean, we anytime adversity hits this team, they just fold like a cheap ass fucking Dollar Tree lawn chair, man.
Well, I mean, do you blame that on the head coach? I mean, are you at the point where you're like, maybe I'm tired of Heupel shit, or is it just the defense that's soft in your opinion?
I think Heupel is a competitor, and I've seen other teams have competed more, than this one has in 2022. I think I think it's leadership. I think it's the leaders on the team are weak leadership, because the coach can only do so much. The leaders on the team have to hold the players accountable.
But in the end, though, sir, what it comes back down to is that your coach picked these guys and made them leaders. I mean, he has to share some of that. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it's just a down year. I don't know. I just hope we can beat Vanderbilt.
You're 6-3 on the year. You got what? New Mexico State.
Yeah, we're not beating Florida. Like I said, we're not beating Florida in Gainesville. Go to 8-4 and go to a bowl game down in Tampa and see where we're at. But like y'all were saying, there's no coaches out there, good coaches that I would want to replace. Who, if we fired Heupel, who are we going to get?
Well, I mean, I read some Tennessee tweets earlier. They were talking about John Gruden. And I know that Gruden, you guys have wanted for a while, but I think that, first of all, I don't like the idea of bringing in someone that hasn't been in the college field, because you may end up like Shula, where, hey, I coached in the NFL for 10 years, but it's a completely different thing, man, than coaching in college.
Well, it really worked out well for North Carolina.
Yeah, that's true. They did get a conference win this weekend, though, so let's give the old that one. But they're a shit show. You're right about
I
that.
watched the highlights of y'all's game. That did not look like a pass interference to me.
Well, and look, the officials across the board, across the country, are just not good. But then there's been research done on that. I'm sure you've read it, where these guys are part timers, man. Like I used to umpire like softball games and shit like that, right? Back when my wife and I first got together for extra cash, okay? And you make good money doing that, but I'm just a guy out there. I mean, I read a couple of books, whatever, went out there and did it. But that's essentially what these guys are. I mean, it's not on the same level, but they go through some training of some sort, and then all of a sudden it's like a good old boy system, and then eventually you're in the mix to go call Florida and Georgia playing a game, or Clemson and Duke playing a game. What training do you have for that? It's just stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, and then the last guy, he was talking about you got to recruit, you got to, and I think for a lot of programs that's true. But then you look at, Cignetti and what he's doing in Indiana. They ain't been recruiting in the top 10, but he's out here, national championship contenders.
Right. Well,
So sometimes it's about in this soft ass, pussy ass football that we have right now. If you can have a damn disciplined, hard nosed, tough nosed team, they can go pretty damn far.
well, and you know what? I think you need just one guy. If you have one guy that is just meaner than a hornet, my favorite is Ndamukong Suh from Nebraska. I believe that guy would stomp on his mother's face to go and kill a quarterback. You need a nasty motherfucker on your team. And if you have one nasty dude, okay, a lot of those other guys are going to buy into it because by osmosis, they will all eventually come. They may not be nearly as nasty as that guy, but they also know that if they're not at that level, that guy may kill them. You got to have one of those guys, and there just aren't very many out there that are like that. There just aren't.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's where I was talking about the player leadership. We don't have any alphas like that on Tennessee offense or on the offensively or defensively.
Well, I think you earn the term being an alpha. It used to be that way. You would earn it, okay, by being a guy that would go out there and make big plays and would instill fear on the other side for the other teams, all right? Now you got guys that are fake alphas. They're like AI alphas. They've had people telling them, oh, you're the greatest thing ever in high school, like the defensive back that I know that you have some hard feelings against. He was been told since he was probably 13 years old, you're the best thing ever. And he thinks that he's the best thing ever. But when he gets out there and he realizes that he's not, he still thinks that he's great. And that's a big part of the problem across everywhere.
Yeah. We had one last year, James Pierce. He was alpha through and through. And everybody, when he lined up across the ball, you could tell it. I mean, people feared him. And, I think that goes a long way. I think it does permeate through the locker room when you have a guy like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But to be honest with you, man, my preseason thing for Tennessee, I thought you guys would go 10-2, 6-3 at this point, man. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
And I thought Vanderbilt was going to fall off the face of the earth. And then yesterday I look 1 minute and they're getting their ass handed to them. And then they come back. They almost had a shot in that game. So, I mean, that game is going to be tougher than I thought for you guys. Still think you win them.
Oklahoma kicker tied a freaking FBS record for most 50-yard field goals. He just goes out there and Daisy Dukes and just knocking down 55-yarders like it's nothing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sometimes the season, just a couple of bounces here or there can get you, man.
Yeah. Hopefully Heupel will make some changes in the coaching staff with all these turnover in the SEC. There's got to be some good position coaches or coordinators out there he could go get,
Yeah. We'll have to see how that works, man. I mean, I feel for you Tennessee folks because I know how hard you guys are on. You expect a winner, and right now it's almost vanilla because you can, even if you win out at 9-3, what do you have?
It just hurts the way we're losing too, because it's not like we're just don't have the talent to compete like we used to. You're just going out, you're just giving the game away with these either stupid turnovers, catastrophic turnovers in the red zone, or some games it's just shooting yourself in the foot, beating yourself.
Right. Well, good luck with that, brother. You guys are off this week, right? And then you play New Mexico State next weekend.
Yeah,
So
it'll be like a month before we're actually playing, till we go to Gainesville. So we got a month to sit on this horrible fucking loss.
well, there's an outside shot you could still make it to Atlanta too. I mean, there's a lot that has to happen, but who knows, man? We'll see how it goes.
All right, have a good night, Rob. Appreciate it.
All right, Dr. Ball, appreciate it. Welcome to the show, Peckerhead. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good evening, and that. Hope Kale's feeling better. By the way, I know he's got to get up and.
Are you suffering from what I don't know what the term is? Like you got some road weary, making that trek all the way down to
holy what a drive, Rob. I think that's a good word to describe it. Road weary.
That's a fair term. Road weary.
I think so.
First of all, and I know that you and I will get pissy with each other eventually, but first of all,
I don't think I've got the energy tonight, Rob. I'm gonna just be honest.
Well, I mean, and I have facts on my side, and facts hurt feelings, but in the gist of it, though, I feel bad for you driving all the way down there and spending your hard-earned money to go and get a huge fucking L, and then on the way back, hey, we're firing the offensive coordinator. You are essentially, giving up on the season. I mean, that's kind of the way it looks.
I'll tell you,
coaches
are. I had a blast, man. I really did. It was fun.
It was a good experience. But wouldn't it have been better if you were down there and like your team really had a chance to win?
Well, and that's what I wanted to tell y'all about tonight is Sellers himself. I looked at that game, man, and I found it hard not to give him a lot of the blame on that. I mean, he took 2 sacks when the D-line was rushing 2 players. He missed 3 wide open touchdowns. I think a total like 6 or 7 wide open players in total.
Well, hold on, Scott. I'll get to the question in a moment. I want to give Peckerhead a second here. He wants to talk about Dabo Swinney and why he was pissed off on the sideline. I will get to you, I promise, before the show ends. All right. Anyway, but go ahead.
I wanted to mention this as well. Sure. I just want to read a couple stats out. Colin Hill in 2020, 8 games. 127 of 215, 59% completion, 1,411 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 2 wins. Lenoris Sellers, 2025, 9 games, 124 of 211, so 61.7%. So he's got him beat there. Yards, only 100 yards more than Colin Hill with a game in hand. Only 1 more touchdown than Colin Hill with a game in hand. Only 1 less interception with a game in hand. And only 3 wins with a game in hand.
I don't think that's a fair comparison. And I'll tell you why. Because there are plays that are for Colin Hill, there were no quarterback run plays for Colin Hill. I mean, I think that's fair to say.
I'm saying that's Shula thing.
Well, yeah, with Shula, we talked about this earlier with, the Gamecock offense, 13th in 2021, 9th in 2022, 9th in 2023, 8th in 2024. I think we can say without hurting anybody's feelings here, Shane Beamer has not been able to find an offensive coordinator that is going to bring the Gamecocks up to a level where, hell, if they could just match the defense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And honestly, I think Donati's gonna. I mean, not surely he's making the hire on this one. I don't see as a newer AD. I don't see how he doesn't just go ahead and lay claim to that.
unless Henry McMaster steps in and says, "Fuck you, I'm doing it." Like
You can't gamble, and I'm picking your OC. Damn it.
Yeah. Trey says, serious question. If they fire Beamer, could they get Franklin? I think it comes down to money, sir. And here's one other little thing too. You have to look at it as far as a situation goes. All right. I think going to an SEC job is a big deal to a lot of coaches because they're going to get to play Alabama, LSU, teams like that. But there's also money there because of contracts. All right. I'm stunned that, if the Bill Belichick thing has been a circus, but if Bill Belichick knew more about the funding and everything else, or maybe he was told they would all have it. The point is that it comes down to that. And I don't know if Franklin would say, hey, I want to go to South Carolina. If it were, hey, I could go to South Carolina, Florida, Auburn, Florida State. There's 4 there. I can go to any one of those 4. South Carolina is going to be 2, 3 on the list. Maybe. I don't think it's that. I don't think I'm throwing shade when I say that. So
no, and to be fair, those are 3. I mean, 2 of those you listed. Hell, you could even really throw 3. Have fairly recent natties. But with that comes expectations, and arguably, just as far as Florida State's concerned, I think we're a bit better set up right now for college football than Florida State.
I think that on the money front, South Carolina, in my opinion, is a better financial spot than Florida State is, because Florida State plays in the ACC where, I mean, let's be honest, Swofford signed that TV deal that locks them up forever. And it was all built on the back of, let's all sit and have a circle jerk and watch Duke and North Carolina play basketball. They didn't give a shit about football. And that's
can you believe, yeah. Well, can you believe that I think they're still talking about trying to leave the ACC. Who the hell wants Florida State right now? I mean, they're still trying to talk about that.
I think eventually we're going to get to a point where you have, the 4, maybe 3 super conferences. It'll condense down, but Florida State will get in somewhere. They're not going to be a team that's going to be left out in the cold, but this whole thing that we're supposed to be like, just that Florida State has this aura about them. I'm not buying that anymore. I don't believe that at all.
And just before it slips my mind,
beat that out of them.
I did want to mention this before it slips my mind, because I think this was some of the most hilarious shit I ever heard. All around the Grove, I was asking people on if they thought Kiffin was going to leave, right? And you know what? Every single person told me, Rob?
What?
Oh, he ain't leaving. He just moved his ex-wife down to Oxford. He just moved his ex-wife. Don't you know his ex-wife just moved down to Oxford?
Trey with a good comment here. Cockaboose asked why I was not on VOC after the post game. I took that off and I went and I had some other things I was doing with the wife and all kind of stuff. So I took off. My first game I've missed in 22 years. That was weird last night. So anyway,
I'll tell you, Vaught Hemingway, tiny. It's a shithole. It's hardly an SEC stadium, but the fans are awesome. Stadium's a shithole. They deserve so much better.
I've seen pictures of they have the chandeliers and the tents, man.
Yeah, the tents were. That's what I'm saying. The fans are awesome. They deserve so much better. I couldn't imagine what that place would be like if they had something like Williams-Brice right there. I mean, you got to think they got 25,000 less, just butts and seats. I mean, they deserve better on that front. It truly looked like I was going into I would expect like Memphis or somebody like that to play there. You know what I mean? Not Ole Miss, not with the crowd that they have.
I appreciate that, Cockaboose. I'm not going anywhere, man. I'll be doing Gamecock post game forever. It's fucking crazy. I don't know how I got into it. But I don't know.
I heard rumblings that Mike Fury might get the interim job,
Interim job at.
like OC.
Oh, I read it was going to be Sean Elliott, but that's
Sean
where
Elliott, why?
Why?
Keep him at O-line.
4 fucking
Keep him at
games. Why not?
O-line.
Why would you not want Sean Elliott?
I want to keep him at O-line. I don't want him to get the interim job and then leave because he didn't get to keep it.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't think he's going to be there anyway.
Why is
I
that?
think that it's going to take Shane Beamer doing some talking to get him to stay there. I mean, the one thing South Carolina had on the offensive coordinator front, which baffled me that they would go with Shula, was they had that token of you could be the guy that takes Lenore Sellers and molds him into being a first-round draft pick. And instead of going out and offering that up to the open market, let's just hire this bumblefuck who has been terrible. Let's bring him in here, even though he's got a track record of okay, he groomed Cam Newton to be an NFL number one or an NFL MVP. That's not the same as college football. But I could see where a guy's like, you know what? I'm an up and coming offensive coordinator. I get to work with a quarterback that's projected to be number one in the draft, and I get to go to an SEC school. But it seems like that wasn't even fucking put out there, and that is sad.
Again, hindsight 2020, we shouldn't have gone with them. I understand why the hire was made, though. Hindsight 2020, it didn't work out.
It didn't. And look, we can goof about it and everything else, but the reality is that tomorrow the sun is going to come up. South Carolina has a bye week this week, but their next game is what? Texas A&M, right?
Yeah. Hey,
yeah. So you're going on the road to Texas A&M. You're what? 12 or 13 days away from that. Center up, and that's what you have to figure out what you're going to do. Everything should be about the next game, in my opinion, for what you have now at 3-6. And the idea, I'd run around the state, I'd run around all the meeting rooms and everything if I were coaching down there, hanging up threes. We need to win all fucking 3 of these games. And the hardest one's going to be the Texas A&M game. But if you win that one, if Beamer can get that November magic that he's had, where his teams have been just drudged in October, okay? But for some reason in November, they play great. If he can get that magic to get them through that Texas A&M game and they get a win and shock the world, because that's what would happen. Same thing they did in 2022 with Tennessee, shock the world there. I'm telling you, they can parlay that into they'll beat Coastal and they'll beat Clemson too. But it's the first step is how do we beat these monsters at A&M, because that's what they look like right now.
Yeah, and Marcel Reed is exactly how he's being utilized is how Sellers should have been utilized all year long. There's a reason that they're dominating everybody. There's a reason Marcel Reed is playing like Marcel Reed is playing, and it's not because he was trying to get shoehorned into a fucking system. It's because they created the system around him and his abilities. They accentuated what he did well and hide his weakness. All Shula could do was drop fucking Sellers back in the shotgun on a 2-step drop back, keep him right in the center of the pocket, and have him throw fucking 18-yard post route.
I'm not going to give you shit tonight about the whole Shula thing, but I read something from the Charlotte Observer. David Newton wrote a piece in 2015 when Cam Newton won the NFL MVP. They went to the Super Bowl, whatever, that huge year that he had. And he wrote a whole thing about how Newton had a meeting with Shula and just said point blank, I can't play quarterback the way you want me to play. I have to play it the way I want to play if we're going to be good. And he went out there and basically just did whatever the fuck he wanted to do, is what it basically boiled down to, according to Newton from the Charlotte Observer. But the thing that bothers me is that Shula has been so bad, and then all of a sudden, but he keeps getting jobs. And there's lots of young coaches out there that would love to have.
He's got Bobo syndrome. He just fails upwards.
And it's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, Mike Bobo failed his way all the way from Colorado State to now he's the freaking OC at Georgia. I guarantee you Shula will probably get looks somewhere. It's gonna be like Satterfield. How Satterfield ever got hired as Nebraska's OC, I will never understand. And I think he was fired within a year there. Whoever has the misfortune of taking Shula, God, I hope you have a statue for a quarterback because I think his offense would be perfect for that.
Well, I think that also, what if you're a Gamecock fan, you have to look at it from the perspective of who is Beamer going to get? And, he doesn't have that token of, hey, you could come and we don't know for sure if Lenore Sellers is coming back or not. We don't know. So that's not something Shane Beamer can put out there right now. Hey, you're going to get to develop Sellers. That's not in the mix, but I don't know, man. I think that if you're smart, the idea should be we need to wipe the slate clean down there and just go and get us another coach, somebody else that has more of a vision.
And here's my thing on that. I get the OC argument as far as that's concerned. However, I mean, I think you would agree we have players in key positions that you need to win ball games, right?
Okay.
Yeah. That's not the only point. That's not the only point. That's the foundation.
Okay, fair enough.
I would say outside of Spurrier, which I've only seen 3 head coaches in my lifetime, Spurrier had that. Muschamp didn't. He had great players, but never in key positions to win. Quarterback play was always abysmal, and our D-line got blown off the ball damn near every year under Muschamp. With Beamer, he has been able to go in and get some key players at key positions, and he's fucked up the coordinator hiring outside of the defense. The defense, I'm not even going to touch. I think the defense is good for Beamer. As far as the offense is concerned, though, I think if Donati can have the nuts to say, I got TCU to the fucking, the Natty or the playoffs? I think they went to the Natty under Donati. I got TCU to the Natty. I know what a good offense looks like. I've been in those meeting rooms. I know what it should look like. I'm going to make this hire. I think that would accentuate Beamer's weakness and take him over the top if that tracks. Because I think Beamer has special teams. I think he has defense as far as coordinators and game plan completed.
Well, but nobody's really talked about this, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but if I'm Clayton White, I'm looking around and thinking, you know what? There have been times where the defense has played pretty solid this season. If my agent would be on the phone with somebody else, because in the end, if you guys go through another season like this next year, if you go 4-8 next year, Beamer's not gonna be here. I think we all can agree upon that.
Yeah, if we win 4 games next year, he's
4-8 next year, 4-8 this year. And then, 3 out of the last 4 seasons under this guy have been losing records. He's not going to be there. They're going to wipe the whole staff clean. If I'm Clayton White, I might be looking to go somewhere else. Just saying, maybe that's part of it. That's why I say wipe the whole slate clean, because you don't know a couple of different things. One is Sellers coming back, and 2, what's White going to do?
The thing is, Clayton White, just like when he was at Western Kentucky, you brought it up when we hired him. Nobody, which granted he deserves to be, but nobody in the college football landscape is talking about how elite of a DC he is. Granted, you and I both know he deserves to be in those conversations, but he just doesn't have the tempo. He doesn't get out in the public. You know what I mean? He doesn't do a lot of interviews. He's one of those guys that's very under the radar.
Well, he does. He's not a good interview. If you watch his press conferences, you don't get the warm and fuzzy feeling of like, oh, this guy's great.
Yeah, he seems evil sometimes.
He does, but that doesn't matter. The guy understands X's and O's. You can watch the games, and if you just watch, he has you in a position to win some of these games. Other than the Vanderbilt game this year, your defense played really good. You had an opportunity to win all of them.
Yeah.
So if I were him, I would be looking somewhere else, because he's hitched his horse to Beamer. And I don't think that that's going to work for him. And South Carolina fans think I'm just razzing the shit out of them. 22 years covering this team. And this is the most frustrating fucking team I've ever seen for South Carolina. Because there's so much potential with them. And they fall flat because your head coach put a dullard in as your offensive coordinator and ruined one of the most best playmaking quarterbacks in the conference. And he should never be forgiven for that. He should be shown the door at the end of this season, flat out.
Well, and like I said, I think that's unlikely. And I think you probably think that's unlikely too.
It's unlikely because if I'm sitting in the AD's office, I'm looking at it from a perspective of, look at all these other jobs that are out there. I can't go and get my A1 guy unless this new AD has his A1 guy in his pocket. And he knows, all right, I know this guy's going to get in here and do something. He may have somebody in mind. We don't know.
And that's what I'm saying. I would not, from what I've seen from Beamer, I would not fire Beamer unless you can go out and get a bona fide top 15 coach in the country. In my honest opinion.
Justin with a good comment. Gamecocks may be trash this year, Rob, but they'll still skull drag Clemson. You know what, sir? You might be correct. You might be right, sir. I can't sit here and throw out this whole false narrative about Clemson because they're not that fucking good. All right? I'm not going to sit here and then throw, they've got this guy and that guy and everything else, because all these guys they have that are great players, they don't play together. And that comes back on the head coach too. But I think that he's going to fire a shit ton of people on his staff come this offseason and shake some shit up. And I think he's going to finally say, you know what? I better go to that damn transfer portal and get off my high horse a little bit. I think this is the year he does it.
I got a question. You would be more knowledgeable than me just based off of age. Or as far as Frank Beamer is concerned, did he fire his coordinators? Is this just something that he's getting from his daddy?
No. His defensive coordinator stayed with him forever, invented the whole lunchbox thing where they had like the lunchbox pale defense. I don't know if you know about that or not, but
I know about. I don't know the origination, but I know about it.
That was from their defensive coordinator, whose name escapes me, but he was considered one of the best in the country, offered jobs across the world, and never took that out because he's like, hey, I just want to coach defense. So there's that. As far as I'd have to look back on his offensive coordinators, he did some, the whole thing when they had Michael Vick there, and I'm not comparing Vick to Sellers because I think Vick was smaller in my opinion and not quite as massive as Sellers. Sellers is like a fucking tight end playing quarterback, but an athletic one.
Yeah.
Whereas
Sellers is
like
scary.
that could throw 70 yards down the field.
Honest to God, I think Sellers, because it's likely he'll be a first-round pick at quarterback. I truly believe he could be a first-round pick at running back, tight end, maybe even wide receiver if he had hands. That's yet to be shown. Which, by the way, why hadn't we ran a Philly special to Sellers yet?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, just realistically speaking, have we seen a single trick play to Sellers?
No,
I don't think so.
Because your offensive coordinator is a dope. Trey Gunnell says, I agree. And what they need to show, they need to throw the sink at Franklin. The sink, get the man. They got Holtz and Spurrier, throw the sink. Some of the things to get, I know to get Spurrier was a membership at Augusta National. Which
James Franklin ain't Lou Holtz or Steve Spurrier, though, guys.
He's not, but he's built programs. He's done that.
He has, but hell, so is Brian Kelly.
Well, Brian Kelly, people don't talk about that, but he's going to get a job somewhere.
Oh, yeah. He is. I threw this out there. Tell me what you think of this.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up last week. I've been thinking more and more about it. It's going to be somewhere out west. Okay? I think it's going to be UCLA. I think it's going to be UCLA. I think it'd be a great fit.
Ooh, highlight that. Bud Foster, that's the defensive coordinator. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that, sir. That was the defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech. But Look, there's a lot of coaching jobs that are out there, and there aren't a lot of good coaches left to fill those jobs. I'm wondering if we're going to get, if like a guy like Chip Kelly is going to come back to college,
Well, I've been seeing John Gruden's name a lot too.
Well, John Gruden comes with the whole thing of, the racial issues that were in his emails and stuff like that. And I think that there's going to be certain parents that just off of the racial emails that are out there that the NFL kind of, that whole situation, I don't think he'll get into some living rooms because some people are going to be like, the guy's a racist. And if you don't believe me, go.
The thing that's a fair point, but also, I mean, millions talk, Rob. Let's say he gets hired at Auburn, right? I see your point, and I'll offer this up. He comes into he gives Mama a call and says, "I'm about to change your boy's life. You ready for him to get that $3 million from my Auburn NIL?" You think they're going to give a shit about his emails at the Raiders? Realistically, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I fall in maybe if money wasn't such a big aspect of football these days, but when these guys are getting paid, I mean, hell, did you see anybody from the Clippers quit because Donald Sterling was the owner?
Yeah, but the story behind that, though, they eventually pushed them out of the whole thing. I mean, that was kind of...
I know, but he was also a lot more of a egregious example, and that's why I use that to show, Chris Ball stayed. You had, you know what I mean? You had a lot of high-profile African-American players who stuck around with the Clippers while he was there. Right. And I use that just because that was more of a... He was pretty fucking racist.
I get what you're saying, but the point, it comes back down to that. I think that may hinder him a little bit. And
it might. It will probably.
He hasn't coached in 3 years too. So you're literally pulling a guy off the couch,
off Barstool,
whatever, off the bar stool to come and coach your team. I don't think that donors would be like, "Hey, that's what I want to get behind."
Yeah, you're probably right. Now that I think about it, you're probably right, especially when you got 3 national championship winning coaches just sitting on their 4 if you include Mac Brown. I doubt he'll come back though.
Mac Brown's not coming back, but I mean,
I think Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer might be in the mix too. How old is Urban Meyer? How old is he? I'm not being a smart ass.
Give me one sec, I'll tell you.
I'm telling you in a minute, but Meyer may be a guy. Urban Meyer is 61 years old.
That ain't a bad age for college football coach, if we're realistic.
Look, at 61, he'll know how to do what he did at Florida and go and get the convicts and felons and all that to come run his team.
He did it at Ohio State too. Now, how many coaches outside of him and Saban and this current college football era have won 2 natties at 2 different schools? Is it just them 2?
I think it's just them 2. Trey said, as I said earlier, if I'm Kiffin, I'm staying as long as Ole Miss pays him enough money. Yeah, he'll be a top-paid coach down there.
Well,
here's is good enough for Ole Miss.
Here's what I wanted to mention about the ex-wife comment. Why would you think moving your ex-wife to where you're currently living at isn't indicative of you about to leave, but rather, he moved his ex-wife, he's obviously going to stay? That's what I wanted to get to earlier. The dude moved his ex-wife there, and you think he's staying?
Didn't Urban Meyer retire for health issues at Sports World? Allegedly. My heart hurts as, investigations are coming. And
then he won a natty in Ohio State.
Then remember, he was
with a backup quarterback too, right?
He did. But remember, he was with the Jaguars and decided, hey, let's bring Tim Tebow in. Remember that debacle? And set that franchise back. And then all of a sudden he's feeling up a girl in
at a bar.
I don't know if that's who you want leading your program, but he does win.
He wins. Damn it, he wins. But you got Ed O, you got Jimbo, you got him. I think at least one of those 3 is getting a head coaching job this cycle. There's too many high-profile schools.
I would go with Orgeron first.
I like Orgeron shouldn't have got fired.
Maybe
how
Fisher.
Many wins? Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe Fisher. Probably Fisher first.
Well, how many wins?
On the sideline.
how many wins did Orgeron have when he fired? Didn't they give him like a Brian Kelly firing when they got like 8-9 wins and they kicked him out like a year after winning the Natty?
I think so.
I mean, holy
Boris
shit.
says, how would you feel if Beamer was fired, Sean Elliott was promoted to head coach, and G.A. Mangus?
G.A. Mangus.
Well, that depends. Are you going to keep Clayton White? And I know that
And
sounds
Torian Gray. You got to keep
But-
Torian Gray.
Well, I mean, Torian Gray's your top recruiter. So, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
but
could-
I also, I'm surprised. Realistically speaking, I'm genuinely surprised. And Ohio State, any of those blue blood programs haven't come calling for Torian Gray. I mean, that dude he's by far the best coach we have on staff. He has been for years.
He's the best recruiter. Let's just be honest.
Well, I think he's the best developer. I think he's the best developer.
Well,
That's where I was going because
developed.
what's that?
Tell me who he's developed. I'm not being a smart ass.
You had fucking God, what was it? That safety last year? He's a 3-star, just got drafted in the first round. Shit, what's his name? Oh, it's slipping my mind. I know you know who I'm talking about. 3-star from Irmo. Oh, it's gonna burn. I can't believe I don't remember his name. Give me one sec. Not only that though, you had J.C. Horn. What's that?
Imamore?
Yeah, Nick Emanware. That's God. How did I forget him? You had Emanware. You had J.C. Horn. You had Cam Smith. You had Jalen Kilgore's. He's projected to be a first, second rounder.
Okay.
I mean, that's just 4 off the top of my head. Israel Mukwamu got drafted.
I stand corrected.
I truly believe he's the best coach we have on staff, and I can't believe somebody hadn't come calling for him.
You'd be more hurt if he left or Clayton White left.
Honestly, him, Torian Gray.
Fair enough.
Honest to God. Clayton White. Here's my thing about Clayton White. I love him to death, and I think he's a great coordinator, but he has some tendencies that bother the shit out of me. He gives up so many soft-ass little flat routes every single game all year long, and we don't make adjustments throughout the game to prevent it. All game long, we'll just get picked off with freaking zig routes, out routes, flat routes, and he makes 0 adjustments for that. Now, whenever they get across the 50, he tends to tighten up, but it don't matter if you're letting your quarterback get in a rhythm all the way up until the 50. I mean, clearly, you've seen it all year.
When I watch, one of the things that kind of bugs me is that I think he should tune up more pressure with the defensive ends he's got. And he did that more last year with Kennard on one side and Stewart on the other. Who's the guy? Is it White? What's the guy's name that's on the other side, other defensive end that is opposite of Stewart? I can't remember his name.
Brian Thomas.
Yeah, Brian Thomas. Like Brian Thomas and Stewart should be playing. Remember the old movie, The Program, where they meet at the middle of the quarterback? Like that, the quarterback should be scared shitless. He's going to get hit every time. And I would live off that pressure. And I would tell my defensive backs, look, we're going to put you on an island because that's what you're going to be in the NFL anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put you on an island. I would stop this zone bullshit, line my guys up, especially now you're 3-6. I would tell Stewart, tee the fuck off. Hit that quarterback every damn time. But I don't know.
Well, the thing with and I don't get it. I've seen it so much from Sellers or Stewart, I should say. He can't get a holding call. I mean, how many times have you just watched him get fucking tackled and he can't get a holding call?
I mean, I don't blame.
Is he not throwing his hands up high enough like everyone else? Maybe that's it.
I don't know. I think that there's also, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but remember last season he had the whole thing where he was shooting the gun and all that shit. I think that refs get together and talk, and they may be like, "This guy's a shithead."
I bet you that's true.
Sit in people's heads and they may carry it. I'm not saying they're out to get him. I'm
a
just
little
saying
implicit bias.
Not get just from, it's been in their head a little bit and it's like,
fuck
okay.
this guy. Fuck this guy.
Not really fuck this guy, but they're not going to look at him objectively. I think that's one way to look at it. And I think it's that way with a lot of guys that are projected to be like top draft picks. I was talking about Ndamukong Suh earlier. That guy would get held by 3 guys and not get calls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've
It's
watched
crazy.
that happen. So
It truly is crazy. And I don't think the reffing situation is anything that can be fixed outside of – I mean, there's really no way to take the human element out of football as far as reffing is concerned.
Nick
Unless
said
you just want to add in reviews.
about offensive coordinator replacements. Well, I think that Sean Elliott's going to be the guy for right now. As far as guys that are going to be down the road, I mean, I don't know who's going to be available, man. I don't know if your head coach is going to be able to pull any of the big names that are out there, you know?
I think, honestly, with Donati coming over, I think we could get Kendall Briles. I don't think that's very far-fetched, given he hired him at TCU to begin with. I think Gus Malzahn could be an option. He didn't know what he signed up for at Florida State. Granted, his offense hasn't been great at Florida State, so maybe we don't want to go that route, but he's typically had good offenses.
Well, I don't know about that. He says, let's talk about Alex Golesh. Why? I mean, you would come here? I don't know.
With Alex Golesh.
Hmm.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know anything about Alex Golesh, if I'm being completely frank. But
I don't know. But as far as the top offensive coordinators, I would look at maybe go down and look at some of the like the mid-tier schools and see who's running the offense there. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm throwing straws here, but that's where I would start. Top offenses in college football, and start interviewing people.
Yeah, well, and you're not wrong. The thing is, I fall a little bit further on the other side of the token. I don't think Beamer being the head coach is really gonna. I mean, maybe you won't get the top 3 like hottest OCs in the country. I certainly don't think us having Beamer as our head coach is a disqualifier, though, to get like a top 10 candidate for OC. That's my opinion on that. Kendall Briles falls right into that category. He's got a good relationship with Donati, from what I understand. I mean,
all right, so
he's a realistic option, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Top offense in college football this year at 510 yards a game is the Florida State Seminoles.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now from the ESPN.com page.
Fuck yeah, give me Malzahn. Bring him to
South,
Columbia.
Southern Cal's at 2, but that's Lincoln Riley. Indiana's got Signetti. That's 3. Josh Heupel's at 4. He's not coming. Texas Tech is at 5. Who's running North Texas? Find their offensive coordinator.
That's the head coach. It's the head coach.
There too.
Yeah.
That
was that guy who I was telling you about a couple weeks ago.
Trey's big on Franklin. Yeah, I can see that. All right, South Florida, Arkansas, Bobby Petrino. He's gonna get that job there.
Get the head coaching job, yeah.
They're just gonna have an edict for him. Stay the hell away from the volleyball players.
Yeah, stay off mopeds.
You cannot fuck volleyball players from our university. You must go down to Southern Miss or wherever to get your penis wet. Oregon, that's we know what that is. Georgia Tech at 482. Utah. How about offensive coordinator at East Carolina at number 10? Why not?
No, fuck that.
You got to get somebody that would think they're taking a step up, because I don't think that Malzahn's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go and work for Beamer.
Come on. But the thing, I think he easily went. He went and go work for a 2-12 Norvell after being a head coach.
We can agree to disagree on that point, sir.
But also touching on that, we have to have a higher standard than going out and getting some fucking reject from some nobody from East Carolina. And with that, on that point you had about, he's getting a promotion.
Wait a minute. Hold on. But Western Kentucky's shit though with Clayton White.
Is this guy getting Broyle nominations? If he's getting Broyle nominations, I'll stand corrected. But Clayton White was getting Broyle, I think, finalist nominations while at Western Kentucky. But I wanted to also mention this. You bring in a guy like that who he's ready to take a next jump. He's probably young if he's coaching at East Carolina. I mean, that's a prime candidate to stay at your school for 2 years and go take a head coaching job. I have no interest in that. I'd rather go and get someone like a Malzahn who took a step down from head coach to get back into OC, or even a head coach from a smaller school. I think he's less likely to jump ship as fast as just getting a smaller school OC.
All right, here are offensive coordinators that were nominees last year. Nick Sheridan, the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Baylor's offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital.
He's having a good year too.
Dirk Cutter at Boise State. He's the offensive coordinator there. I'm just looking down. I mean, I'm serious. This is how I would start with all that stuff. On your offensive coordinator, John David Baker, offensive coordinator, East Carolina.
All right, bring him in. Bring him in. I've heard enough. Bring him in.
There you go.
Bring him in. Hey, he cuts it.
Perfect. You know why? Because he understands the recruiting paths and trails and all that down here in the South. Why not?
Fair point too. Hey, I had a long drive, man. I'm gonna sign off. Let somebody else take over. But go Gamecocks. Go do something, man. Just don't lose by double digits. That's all I ask.
Well, will they win another game this season?
Oh yeah. At least I firmly believe so. Beamer, every year he comes up, he bites someone in the ass. There's only one game left on our schedule where he can do it. Why not Texas A&M, man? He's done it before. He usually gets one a year where he just gets a completely ridiculous win that comes from nowhere. Could be Texas A&M this year. I mean, it fits the bill. Everybody's counting us out. We're going to be double-digit underdog. So maybe it's Texas A&M just based off of Beamer's ability to pull a rabbit out of the hat every now and then. But go Gamecocks. I'll catch y'all on Sunday, okay?
Wednesday,
or
sir.
Wednesday.
Please.
I do a long drive. My bad, bro.
Sir.
Peace.
Joel C with the super chat. Pats are back. Yes, sir, they are. The Patriots are playing some pretty good football right now. Anyway, that's where we are. You know, South Carolina, of course, is at 3-6. Yeah, 3-6, right? Yes, that's where they are. We didn't even get into the fact there was a lot of shit we didn't get into. The Hugh Freeze firing. Who's going to take that job? We didn't get into the fact that let's give Kentucky, as Jackpot would say, their flowers for going down there and sealing the deal, knocking off Hugh Freeze. Stupid Auburn fans. Stay off the Twitter with the freeze warning. This guy's going freeze. Fuck off with all that. I'm glad that's gone. We missed all of that. I mean, there's so much we could get into with everything on the program here. Mississippi State. Yes, Billy. Thank you. Mississippi State getting their first SEC win in 2 years? Where the hell is Sven? Sven's still drinking over there in Germany. Normally he's calling to give us shit. Sven, congrats to your Bulldogs there as they have won their first SEC game in God knows how long. For the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, here are the games for next week. We already have those selected. I will read them to you now. BYU at Texas Tech, Florida at Kentucky, Texas A&M at Mizzou. Interesting game there. Oregon at Iowa, Georgia at Mississippi State, LSU at Alabama. Man, you guys remember when that game was great? FSU at Clemson. Hey, you guys remember when that game was great? Yeah. Auburn at Vanderbilt. Indiana at Penn State. Iowa State at TCU. And the Cale Hall shitter is Florida International at Middle Tennessee. So there you go with that. By the way, early line, just so you guys know, This is a Clemson team that lost. That game that's the cherry game on the ACC network. So there you go with that. All right. Anyway, am I good now? I think you guys can hear me. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at across the country here. I was trying to see if there were other games that mattered this coming week. By the way, when you look at the standings too, like we don't really get a chance to look at standings, but right now when I look at teams here, when we look at the ACC right now, your conference leaders are Virginia and Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Pittsburgh right now, all sitting out. Virginia's 5-0, Tech is 5-1, Pittsburgh's 5-1. Let's see here. Louisville is at 4-1. SMU's at 4-1. Duke's at 4-1. Let me just cut this off right now. Miami, Virginia Tech, NC State, all those teams from there down, you will not be playing in Charlotte. Okay? Just saying, that's the way that it works out. It's going to be Virginia, Georgia Tech, Pitt, Louisville, SMU, and Duke. There are your teams that I think have the best shot in the ACC. When we look at the SEC, so Nick says, I will super chat $20 if you'll pull up Alex Golesh on Wiki and read under UCF and Tennessee, and then I'll shut up about him. Okay, let me read it really quick here. I'm pulling up Alex Golesh. Hold on. Golesh. Let's see here. Wikipedia. An American-Russian college football coach is currently the head coach at the University of South Florida, previously the offensive coordinator and tight ends coach at the University of Tennessee. He also was a coach and offensive coordinator at UCF, Iowa State, Illinois, Toledo. He was their tight end and running coordinator there. So there you go. There's my spiel on him. All right, now back to my thing on the SEC. Here are the teams at the top. You've got Texas A&M. I expect to see my super chat. Texas A&M is 5-0. Alabama's 5-0. Georgia's 5-0. Or excuse me, Georgia's 5-1. Ole Miss is 5-1. Texas is 4-1. Oklahoma's 3-2. I think you have a shot. I don't know, man. That's crazy right now. There's going to be some teams that finish 5-3 that people are going to be like, how the hell did they finish 5-3? Oof. South Carolina, by the way, you get to be the spoiler for A&M. You could knock them out of the SEC championship picture. It's something to look forward to as a Gamecock fan. With Clemson, by the way, hold on. I can't remember. Let me pull this up really quick here. So Clemson has Florida State, which that doesn't matter in the conference standings. Clemson next Friday night has the opportunity to knock Louisville out of the ACC championship standings. Just saying. If you're looking for something to look forward to, for Clemson, it's, hey, you can get Norvell fired, be the thing there. Louisville, you can knock them out of the conference championship race, and then you can seal Shane Beamer's fate if you can win at South Carolina. There's stuff to play for, I guess. You got to figure that out when your team's a shithole. All right, Jackpot will be back at it on Wednesday. New form for the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge will be up Monday, Tuesday, whatever. We'll figure that out from there. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.